webcams were a bit of a stagnant space before the pandemic shifted much of the world to a work-from-home setup. In 2020, the Logitech C920 was still the best webcam in the mid-budget range despite being almost a decade old. The pandemic's since seen a lot of companies launch new webcams to try to fill the world's rising demand. But while we've seen contenders from the likes of Dell and Elgato knock premium giants like the Logitech Brio 4K off their thrones, we've yet to see a definitive improvement on the Logitech C920. Until now, with the release of the Microsoft Modern Webcam, the name alone feels like it's taking potshots at Logitech, even if it uses the same naming scheme as Microsoft's recent keyboards and mice. At $70 and boasting HDR in a 78-degree field of view, this 1008x at 30 FPS camera does everything the C920 does. But thanks to recent innovations, it does it better and cheaper. Videos on the Microsoft Modern Webcam. Speaking of video calls, they are of course the intended use case for this camera. My experience capturing video was much the same as my experience with photos, and I've included a sample video below to show it off. I also recorded the audio for the sample video with the Microsoft Modern Webcam's built-in microphone. Echo was present, like with most webcam microphones, but I also thought my voice was crisp and clear. The Microsoft Modern Webcam is a small all-in-one package with no detachable cables or accessories. This makes it ideal for travel and for use with smaller devices like laptops, but it also leaves it feeling cheap and flimsy in places. This camera does have a slightly premium feel at first blush, thanks to its sliding camera cover and reflective front plastic. But once you notice that the cover is made of foam and that the monitor mount lacks feet, that premium feeling starts to wear off. The monitor mount is perhaps my biggest point of contention with this camera, as I couldn't get it to securely attach to my main monitor. Instead, it would like to occasionally lean slightly forward, as that monitor, the non-quantum dot version of this MSI Optics display, has a slight bump on its back. While the camera was still usable like this, it left me feeling slightly nervous and frequently making mild adjustments to the mount. However, when I tried attaching it to my secondary monitor, which has a flat back, I was able to get it to fit securely. On the plus side, the mount has a tripod screw on the bottom if you'd rather not bother trying to make it fit on your display. The webcam's USB cable is attached to the device, which isn't uncommon for this price range, but that means you better not break it, because it cannot be replaced. It measures 61 inches when pulled fully taut, which is shorter than the Logitech C920 72-inch cable, but is long enough to reach about every port on my desktop. The big draw here is the ability to turn on HDR recording, a rare feature for a camera in this price range, but you also have sliders to control settings like brightness and contrast, plus a toggle for retouch mode that attempts to brighten up your footage for you live. I found the results were always a little washed out for me, but it's there if you want it. You can also choose to turn off auto white balance or auto flicker reduction and pick from a list of pre-made settings. Exposure gets a similar treatment, with the ability to turn off auto exposure and instead move a manual slider. There's also a toggle to turn off the microphone on the software level. In an odd move, the microphone is turned off by default, as it doesn't meet Microsoft Teams certification. Surprisingly honest, given that Microsoft makes this device. Despite that caveat, I actually found that the audio I recorded on the built-in microphone was crisp and clear. If prone to echo, it's not going to beat a dedicated microphone or headset, but it's as good as any laptop microphone. I hope you found this video helpful. It's my pleasure if you were helped a little at least. If you have anything to query for, please comment us below. Thank you for watching this video.